Why are people going to buy into this false one? Because he's going to do the things he wants them, that they want him to do. Okay? If there was another choice other than Yeshua that started a military, upheaval, kind of like Bar Kokhba or something later, had there been one at Yeshua's time, that's where Judas would have gone. Okay? Because he would have gone to the one that was going to do it the way he was hoping and desiring it to be done. So this false Messiah is going to come and please everybody, at least initially, before you're totally enslaved and trapped and screwed up. You need to understand that your emotional immaturity ultimately is going to get you killed, because that's what's going to be susceptible to the false. So you have to grow yourself emotionally, because it's the emotions that are going to get played on by the false. The reason that the Creator uses the term Father, to refer to himself, is because of the role that we would understand. So that leadership, headship of the man has a role of providing. Now, don't we think of our Creator as the ultimate in providing? We also think of that role as protector. Well, is not the Father, the ultimate protector? And so then, if we're going to be in ministry or within our own families, we have to then try to do those roles as he would have them done. So we are providers and we are protectors. But we're also providing not just things like food and shelter, but the space that is protected to do the growing in. The demons are opportunists because the one who is in charge of them, the devil, is an opportunist. I don't believe, you don't have to agree with me, all right? I don't believe that they are initiators. In other words, they only can work with what's already there. If you don't want to do something, you're not going to do it. Now, unless they came to you and forced you, that's there. I'm saying, but you're not going to get inspired to go do something you never really wanted to do and then blame, well, the devil made me do it. No, he didn't. Something in you still wanted to do that. Now, I know there have been people that have had experiences in a much more direct way where maybe they were threatened and made to do something. I'm talking about the general popular, experience of people is to end up doing something and going, well, I didn't want to do that. Yes, you did. That's why you did it. And the devil and the demons are there to cheer you on doing what you shouldn't do that you still want to do on some level. That's why I call them opportunists. And so the ones who I call are bad people, they're bad not because they're bad because they're missing good. Does that help? And so the bad's been able to flourish unchecked. Under the right circumstances, every one of you could be just as bad as any one of them. You could. Some of you already know that because you might have already been that, and now you're not anymore. I'm serious. So don't think that bad people are bad just because they're not bad because they're missing something good that would balance it that they just can't seem to get their wiring to connect to. But if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out and you'll find the workarounds and you'll be able to bring that into, you can reprogram your system. Okay, the bad people generally don't do that because they don't think they're bad. They just think they're being. This is just who I am. I like raping and pillaging and murdering and whatever else they might be doing out there, which back, a few hundred years is what people literally did. So it says, therefore the Torah became our trainer so we could become Messiah-like in order to be declared right by us being that. Because what's going to have us declared right is us being Messiah-like. He says, but after we become Messiah-like, there's no longer need for a trainer. That doesn't mean the law goes away, but you don't need a trainer. It's now what you are as opposed to what you do. Okay? You're being instead of doing. Right? You have to go from I'm doing Sabbath to I am a Sabbath keeper. I'm being Sabbath observant, right? I'm being Torah observant as opposed to I'm doing Torah. Okay, so you need the trainer to make you do because you don't want to do, to make you do because you don't understand, to make you do for all these various reasons, but when you become, you do them because you already understand all that. It's kind of like finding the rhythm of like, I like to use the double Dutch. You guys remember that jump rope, double Dutch? You have to really find that timing or you get tangled up in the ropes, right? Well, social stuff is like double Dutch. There's a rhythm to it, and you can't just jump in without getting all tangled up and getting your feet all knocked over and you trip. You have to find that timing, and then you step in. And so you go and spend time, and it's okay if you're quiet. You're learning the group, you're learning their rhythm, you're learning maybe where you fit into it, and that's great. I mean, don't stalk them and just show up. Okay, ask them if it's okay to sit with them. Hey, would it be okay if I sat with you guys, I'm new, just thought it'd be, whatever. Because after all, we're supposed to be family, so we should be willing and happy to sit with everybody. In the Hebrew, the point that he's trying to make, and that's why he then later refers to him simply as I am, is that he is existence itself, okay? And so giving the time frame of I was, I am, I will be, or whatever way you want to word it, I was, I am, I'm becoming, is just giving the idea that you can't go back before I was, I exist right now, and you can't go anywhere into the future that I won't already be. So he's just kind of covering all bases. So you can interpret that in how you want to put it into English any way you want, but the point he was making was there's no time frame that affects the fact that I always was, I always am, and I always will be. Okay, now the idea of becoming, he's so outside of our realm of understanding what development, growth, and anything else that happens with him, who knows how that would work, especially when it doesn't have a time factor to it. The blood problem, okay, is living blood. They don't want you eating the meat that just got killed from the animal and you're just gonna eat that with the blood sort of just finish pumping in that animal, okay? All butchers, all manufacturers drain the blood out of the meat, okay? Because they want to make that meat as light as possible, so they're going to charge you by the pound, and so they can compete with everybody else, and they don't want extra weight in that thing, okay? Now, that being said, okay, we're not talking about the fresh kill, and you now are eating that animal and the blood in the meat. So we're talking about draining it out. So by the time you get your meat, organ meat or not, and you go ahead and cook it and prepare it and everything else, it's not breaking this commandment. There's no blood in there that would break this commandment.
Because we're with him to go forward. I've always wanted to be on that page.
No.
Okay.
No, we're not motivated because of that. We're motivated because now we can see what's the potential. We're not motivated, I'm with him, so I'm motivated now. No, we're motivated because now we really see what this could really be. Now we can see what we can really become. Now we can see, because now we'll see him as he is, 1 John, right? So that's what motivates us, like, I had no idea. Because it says man has not even conceived of what's available, right? So we're gonna see him, we're gonna be motivated like, that's what we get to do? That's what we get to become? That's the potential? All right, let's go, okay? It's still a Christianized idea that we're gonna be motivated just by being with him, okay? Right now we're motivated to be with him. But then once they accomplish that, what's the motivation? Okay, so now we're with him. I don't have any idea what you guys are feeling during praise when you're up there like this and I'm not against it. I don't know what you're feeling, right? Because that's not me. I don't get, and you don't either, right? We're just not from that same, that's more of a blue thing. It's more where it's a relational thing and it's a feelings thing. So we have to understand that all of the different personality styles, no matter what way you do it, you can use anybody's test, it doesn't matter, have ways that work better or work differently in different situations. So for us, we have to recognize, as a red, it's about understanding the logical result focus of the day, not what I feel about it, okay? Because I feel good knowing I'm doing what's right to do and it's functioning and it's what it's supposed to be. But I don't have an emotional driving side to it, right?